Hey, TMZ checking in. Zakia right now. Um, this everything I talk about on this channel is literally affecting all of us, of course, including me. And while I'm excelling, there's still things, of course, not pulling me down necessarily, but lessons that I have to learn. Lessons. So I'm gonna show this video of my lab earlier today on Facebook. Sometimes I randomly get things off my chest, but it's not something that anyone needs to be ashamed of anymore at any time in life anymore, because basically things are changing so rapidly, whether we think they are or they haven't yet to us, or the things you think they're supposed to happen. They are definitely supposed to happen. But to better us all. And so the lessons that we learn, once we learn them, we get to that Jupiter, we get to that expanded, that exalted, that like Saturn represents squares. I feel like Jupiter represents exaltations, meaning you're your higher self. So 1:45 minutes in, just a few pointers of the week that I want to let y'all know about, because here it is 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whew, I can't wait till we pull away from time and realize that's not real. But speaking of things that are not real, shout out to Dane Calloway, who is from DC. His initials are DC, and he is awesome. He is found here on YouTube. He has a website called I'm Just Here to Make You Think. He did a few things on the lies that have been told. Neptune and Pisces, right? Neptune, the planet that Pisces rules. So all things Pisces, meaning really high levels of energy and really low levels of energy. Pisces being the last sign. Shout out to any Pisces, because those of you that are highly energized and highly vibing, and even, just like Scorpios and every other sign, we bounce back and forth through our high and low levels. But props to those of y'all and anyone in any sign that is on the higher level and trying to stay there. Key and me. Shout out to those, especially Leroy. And he sent me a really interesting text. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still in the last few days of Mercury retrograde, which is another thing I'm going to point out. These are the times when Mercury retrograde is in its last few days before it's getting ready to stationary, meaning it's supposed to stop and just stand still before it goes direct again, and things start easing up, right? And by July 2nd, things should be good with communication and electronics and information. But squares are ruled by Mars. I just researched and found out. And Mars being the planet of action, Mars that is the ruler of Aries and Scorpio. Very impulsive, very demanding, but also motivational, higher energy thinking. Mars puts that action into effect. It helps you take the action that's needed, and squares are action that's needed. So anytime you hear me using the word square, as in Mercury in Gemini in retrograde, squaring. So here's Mercury in Gemini in retrograde currently right now going on in the universe. In real life, y'all, astrology is real life. Squaring, having necessary conflicts to give results of learned lessons. squaring the other planet Neptune in Pisces. Rewind back to Mercury. Mercury has to deal with us as individuals. It is an inner planet, meaning we are working inwards to the lessons we need to learn, involving knowledge, involving communication with others and ourselves, involving electronics, any kind of technologies. Even my car light came on right before I came in tonight to do this from being out all day. Mercury is us working inward. I've been saying, I feel like I talked it up and I manifested it. I've been saying, let me go take my car to get checked because I do want to drive on a vacation down south in a couple of weeks once Mercury retrograde is over, and then I'm going to go travel, especially before Jupiter in Pisces retrogrades and goes back into Aquarius, right? So I'm trying to travel and have a good time. And I'm going to talk about retrogrades because I know squares, retrogrades, I'm talking about everything right now. But sticking with squares. Squares needed conflict to bring lessons to mastery. What was I saying? The car light came on, and I've been saying I need to go take the car to get checked before I go to vacation. And now it came on tonight. And I went to the AutoZone, and of course it was just closing. So now I'm not gonna panic because it's gonna be fine. But these are the things that happen in Mercury retrograde. The things that happen in Mercury retrograde, get back to Leroy, is like he was having an argument. Leroy again is shout out to Leroy. He's a Cancer friend that I met through another friend who motivated me to create this astrology show. Okay, he was the one that even made the name Addicted to Astrology. And he put me on to this great woman named Miss Dorothy. Shout out to Miss Dorothy. And here's the Scorpio older astrologer who went to astrology school. And I'm learning another thing with Uranus and Taurus. Sorry to get off topic. New world. You don't have to go to school to learn anything. Leave school alone. And that's from a person who taught for 17 years. Coming back. Because it'll be organic if you to learn it on your own versus learning somebody else's perspective or even story. Lie. All right. She went off on him. Miss Dorothy went off on Leroy. In an email, they're calling each other. That's what Scorpios act like. That's what Cancer. The reason astrology is so important and real is because we're more than our sun sign. So when you hear people saying stuff like this is the Mercury and retrograde knowledge lesson I would like everybody to learn that's listening. If you are only thinking all Scorpios are bad or all squares, if you know astrology a little bit and you say all squares are bad, or you only go to astrology for compatibility, any of the excuses you make about astrology, that is lower level energy. And lower level energy is bad. I'm not talking any negative things other than calling out what is negative. I want everybody to excel, and it's not that hard. And astrology is kind of just showing you a map of how you can make those higher level choices. Time is up because I want to keep this short. Mercury, the planet that's individually working on our knowledge, information that we receive and all that stuff, is squaring Neptune. Neptune in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is a planet that's out there, meaning it's an outer planet that has to deal with all the collective. Time is up. It's squaring the collective because the mass mandates have, and I'm tying this to real world stuff, the mass mandates have dropped and people are still wearing their masks. The stores still have a sign saying you have to wear your mask with people in there with no mask on. Some people. Okay, it's like 50-50 now. So I see it making the change. It's going to sizzle down and all. But I'm just comparing this to astrology. I'm not putting anybody down for still wearing their mask or still having any feelings about this pandemic that happened in the last year and a half. But I'm just noticing, and I want y'all to notice how astrology connects from above so below. Us here on Earth are tied to Mercury. the individual planet that works on us. Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, the outer planets work on the whole universe, the collective. Okay, us collective, the other beings out there collective, and all of them, all of us, are pulling woolly, what is it called, rosy colored glasses over our own eyes. Because basically, the information we're giving or even taking in is possible lies, possible deceit, or it's possible uplifting, motivating, higher level, spiritual, more conscious. I'm thinking of all the labels. Okay, but how does feeling confused or deceived feel to you? How does it feel to be not have any clarity on things? It feels low, right? It makes you feel low. So why not try to check out spirituality? It is not bad. I hear some people saying astrology is bad, and Saturn thinking, restricting your mind. Saturn is about restriction. All these planets have effect on us right now. Saturn's in retrograde too. The lessons we got to learn is what is restricting your mind? What is holding you back? Are you a Christian just being loyal and feeling like somebody's going to choke you out if you don't be loyal to Christianity and just check out spirituality a little bit? Even if you're not ready to leave, people are not ready to take off their mask. What if you just sit out? Because I see people still walking around with their mask. What if you just sit out on the porch or just walk one way down the block without your mask and see how you feel? What if you try to take some sea moss, some black seed oil, some ginger, some natural stuff, some herbal tea? What if you do those kind of things and see how you feel? See if it makes you feel higher or see if it makes you feel low. And let me know in the comments. I'm going to stop here. TMZ, teaching everyone abundantly and empowering many. Zakia, enlightening every day. 1 second before we go, because it's almost my Mars return. I don't know if you can see my Mars set up right there. Oh, it did fall. Okay, well, I'll have it set up. I believe my day is coming on Monday, I believe. I just want to check really quick and see where Mars is. My Mars degree is in the 7th degree, back in 1977 in Scorpio season. So the current chart says Mars in Leo's in 4 degrees. So around Monday, Tuesday, we're going to have me a Mars and Leo party. Oh, and anybody born in Scorpio season between 1977, I got to check the other dates too, so I can shout you all out to like January 1978, I believe, before it went in retrograde and went back into Cancer, and then it happened again in 1978. So anyway, shout out to all the Mars and Leo placement people. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and let's get this elevation popping. Gidalyfe Astrology, growing into a divine adult and loving yourself forever. Peace.